Hey everyone. Welcome to Fiorano Training Cloud Native Integration. And in today's video, we're going to understand how to containerize Fiorano servers using Docker. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, I'm currently working on a Linux machine where I have my Fiorano installed. And also I've configured the JDK and all the necessary steps further the installation. Now let's focus on containerization, which is the topic. So now ideally for containerization, one tends to first build a Docker image, which would then be used to run, in turn creating a container in which the application can run. So it's always advisable to trim off any unnecessary folders or directories which aren't necessary for the application. This ensures that the image created is a lightweight file and with which you can create a container. So to trim off the Fiorano directory, these are the essential steps that you need to take. So you have this Fiorano directory, and now you need to run a script that is inside this strip installer script. As you go in, you have four different four different files. A file list specifies all the lists, the parts of directories that need to be removed. So if I just open it, it looks like this. So it contains of all the parts of the directories which are going to be removed. So one thing to note over here is that if at all, the way that you're starting Fiorano service, that be it ESB or API management, the way that you're starting it matters because, as you can see, profile server one, profile, all these are going to be removed as well because I am starting the ESB as profile one. That is the reason you do not see profile one being over here, the directory profile one. Okay, so in a similar manner, if you're starting it as server 2 or profile 2, make sure that it is removed from here. Okay, so ultimately what I meant to say is the file list consists the list of all the directories which are going to be removed. Okay, so now you have a working list. So initially when you'd be running the script, the information of this file list would be copied to the working list and it would be checked off. And at the end of the script, when the optimization has been done, you can see all the folders which have been deleted would be mentioned in would be shown in the working list directory. Okay, so let me quickly also show you this Opti installer. So this Opti installer takes care of trimming your Fiorano directory. Okay, so this is how you have three main scripts, and this readme.txt provides you the information as to how to run this make opti installer. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this script. As you can see, I've opened it up, and in this path, I'm going to go ahead and run make opti installer, and you also have to mention the Fiorano directory. So you just have to give the path of your Fiorano directory. That's this. Make opti installer. So it's an optimized Fiorano. I have Fiorano directory in that 13. So once you've done that, and when you enter, this runs, then the entire script runs, and you get to see a trimmed Fiorano. So let me just show that to you. Okay, let's go back here. As you can see, the properties, it just shows that it is just 1.5 GB. You can even remove more if needed. And so this is how you get a very trimmed folder for your Fiorano directory. So now as it is done, the next step is to create an image. So in order for you to do that, you need to have your Docker file and Dockerfile FES with you. So I'm going to create the image for my enterprise server and my peer server. Okay, so in order for you to do that, so just to check that before we proceed, that your system has Docker. So I've already installed Docker, but let me just run a script. So I mean, just a command over here. Okay, can you see that? It says hello from Docker. Okay, so this means that Docker has been properly installed in your system, and this is just a dummy, container that gets the image that gets built. Okay, so now you can go ahead with running the respective scripts that we have. That is your Docker file, which is for FPS, and Docker file underscore FES is for your enterprise server. Okay, so let me open the Docker file and show you how what it comprises of. So here, as you can see, it says from OpenJDK 8. This command takes the OpenJDK pre-built image as its base image for the container. So that will be useful for you to run Java-based applications. Okay, and it suggests that the working directory would be slash by default, and it's going to add a new directory in the destination. That's going to be Fiorano by taking the information from Fiorano directory. And this line states that it's going to expose all these ports. And once like this, all this would happen when you have built the image. But when you run the image is when this is going to happen. Okay, this command is going to get executed. So let's go ahead and build the Docker image. Before going and building a Docker image, there is something which is very essential over here, and that is making sure that you have, a subnet, a custom network that has been created for yourself. So in this, what happens is, let me just show you an image. So as you can see, you're running Fiorano as a container. By default, the Docker is going to use a network called bridge network. And in order for you to enhance the security, so you need to have a custom network of your own. So for that, create your own subnet. Use this command, docker network create hyphen subnet, and give the CIDR, that is your range, domain ranges, and then the network name. So it's going to be quite similar like this. Okay, docker network create and so mynet 123. Okay, this is my network name that I've given, and these are the ranges. Okay, so now let's just go back. Okay, so this is the command that we're going to run: docker build -f docker file underscore fes -t and the container name. Okay, this you can give anything that you want, and this is the name of the file that we're going to use, and this is the command to build it. So let's go ahead and enter it. Okay, so after you've given the container name, space, and dot. So when you start it, it's going to start. So this will take some time. Okay. So once the image building has been successfully done, you'll be seeing a similar window like this. It says successfully tagged enterprise server built, and so this is the ID that has been allocated to the image. Okay, now let us go ahead. The reason I have specified and I've done for FES before is, so once you've built the image and when you're going to run the container, you'll have to assign a specific IP for it. So once you've specified a static IP, now this static IP will then be configured in the Fiorano directory that's inside your FPS. So you're going to configure this enterprise servers. That means the container where your enterprise server is running. the IP address of that is going to be configured in conf.conf file of FPS. So these are the steps that you normally follow while installing. And but here, as we're doing this on a containerized mode, so once the container has been built for the FES, the enterprise server, and an IP address has been attached, that IP address would then be configured to your peer server's configuration file. Okay, so this is the command that you need to run, docker run, and then you have your network, my network. This is the custom network, subnet that I've created. And then you have your IP address. I've assigned this IP address for my enterprise server and -IT. So IT gives you that no background effect, which means when you're running a command, ideally when you go with -no background, you get to see all that like you get to see the output on this interface, right? So just to show you, I've run it in -IT, but when you're actually running it, please post doing this, stop the server and then stop this and again run it as -DT. So which means you'll be running it in a detached mode where the server will be running in the background. Okay, so here, so once this has been done, and this is my image name. So as you can see, once you enter it, the entire application starts. So this is the command that gets executed. So once it gets executed, you can successfully see that FES has been successfully deployed. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the similar thing for the peer server as well. Okay, so before we move further and build the FPS image, you need to make sure that you have configured in FPS conf. You need to configure the newest the IP address that you have assigned. That is, you need to go into ESB and then you'll have to go into server. So you ideally in simple installation you go into FPS and FPS conf and give the IP address of the enterprise server, right? Of the machine where enterprise server is running. The same thing needs to be done over here as well. Profile one and into FPS, and inside that you'll have conf file. Go ahead and open this configs.xml file. So here in the configuration file, we'll have to update this localhost to the IP address that has been assigned to the enterprise server's container. Okay, so just go ahead and once here, you'll be able to see that 25. So just mention the same thing over here. Okay, once you've done it for backup and primary, just go ahead and save it. Save this file. Okay, and close this. Now go ahead and run the same command over here, docker build. You're going to go ahead and build this image. Build -f and docker file is this. Okay, so let us go to that update. In that you have docker file, and then you -t, and the image should be, let's say, peer server. Okay, and space dot. Okay, my bad. Let's just go to that directory and -t. Okay, and here inside this, let's do that same command, docker build -f and docker file -t peer server dot start. Enter. Okay, it's going to start now. So this too would take a bit of time. So just be patient with this. So once this is done, you'll see a similar message stating stating that peer server has been, the image has been built. Okay, so this entire process would go on for a while. Okay, so we're going to run a similar command to build our container, which contains our peer server. So it's going to be like this: docker run -net and my subnet and IP address. So I'm going to go with 26 here, -it -p peer server. So let's go ahead and run this command. So as you can see, the container is starting up with the server that is started with the process ID as this, and as you can see, it says started Fiorano peer server successfully. And if you can see, let's go into the enterprise servers console. We'll be able to see. Just a minute. As you can see in the enterprise servers console, peer server FPS is connected to the ESP network. Okay, so this is how you can, create the containers and also have first optimize Fiorano directory, build images, and run the images, which in turn runs the container having your applications in it. And then you can just access the same information, whatever you've built, using your eStudio. So let's just go ahead and see that. So here in the eStudio, I've gone here to the RMA connection and have given my enterprise server's IP address 172.18.0.25. And let's go ahead and log in. So once you've done that, as you can see, the event processes, everything has come up here. And let me just show you any of the event processes that are there. Right, Fiorano training. So yeah, here we go. Let me just open any of them. So as you can see, everything is up and running as well. So this is how you can connect to your containerized enterprise server and also see that they are running up and successfully. So thank you so much for attending this session and understanding how to containerize the Fiorano product.